It is cold today. I've got this like big ass sweater, but here we go. So, in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to follow like a really easy diet so you can kind of stay lean. So, ever since I was basically like 8, I've basically been following this diet without really knowing, which is, I guess, a chance for me to kind of be thankful to my parents and all that. Because obviously, when you're growing up, it's not really you that's deciding who's making the meals. It's probably just your parents or your family, and they've always given me like, okay, I'll basically liaison to the source, right? So I was very fortunate to be able to get to this stage, okay. um but it's very simple. It doesn't even require that much thought. Like I feel like most diets, they have so many like little rules, or like you have to count these calories and all that, and it's just pain in the ass. I'm a very simple guy. You might be very simple as well. You might like this advice, okay? So, firstly, I'm not even going to say to you to like specifically to avoid food, okay? Number one is literally to have a protein source with every meal. And now this sounds really silly, but protein is extremely satiating, right? Like if you've ever eaten like a big steak before, like just the steak, you will feel extremely full, even though it doesn't look like a lot of food, right? Like when you look at a steak, if you imagine like replacing this, like the amount of space that a steak takes for rice, for example, okay? For a normal steak, it would be like a bowl of rice, but I feel like I could eat like 4 bowls of rice and then I'd be full, but that's on top of other stuff. But with something like steak, you can only eat like very little of it. All right, it would be like the equivalent of 1 bowl of rice. Okay. Now, protein, obviously, if you're especially into like fitness and all that, is very useful. You need to build muscle. You need it to retain muscle as well. Okay. So part of staying lean is that you want to keep, you don't just want to be skinny. Okay. You don't want to be skinny and no muscle. You want to have like some muscle, a bit like a Spider-Man kind of physique, that kind of thing, where you still have muscle, but it doesn't you don't want to be like one of those really strong, like those strong men that are like, it's like bulging or anything. It's a bit too much. So very simple. Have a protein source with every single meal. Like for breakfast, you could have, I'm just going to outline something very simple for you. For breakfast, you could literally have an omelet with like onions, have a bit of toast with that if you want. For lunch, again, you need to have a protein source. It could be like a ham sandwich if you want it to be, like if you're, especially if you're at school and all that, like let's say your parents might not be feeding you that well. That's unfortunate, but you might want to have, yeah, a ham sandwich, literally just a protein source. Okay. Then for dinner, whatever, like the chicken and eggs, they're probably your cheapest protein sources you could choose from. Tuna is pretty good as well. It's pretty cheap. And also on the plus side, with canned tuna, that lasts you like forever. So you could buy a bunch of them and just not have to think. All right. There's a common pattern in this. It's just not needing to think. Okay. Very simply. So number one, have a protein source with every single meal. It could be anything. Um, I don't count cheese as much as a protein source, nor milk. And I know they have protein, but it's more fats than protein. But yeah, number two is going to be very simple again. You can only drink water or milk. Now, this is probably one of the hardest steps, I can't lie. Okay. Now, water obviously has 0 calories in it. Okay. If you just drink water with your meal, you'll feel as full as if, like, I guess if you drank soda, you'd feel more full because of the bubbles and all that. Okay. But if you drink with your meal, you're going to feel more full because it takes up more stomach space. But also you need water. You need water to be able to feel hydrated. You need it especially for fitness. Okay, so just drink water or milk. And then if this is like a bonus tip, especially like if you're doing a sport where weight really matters, like you need to watch it and all that, drink like this, like sugar-free soda. Now, I know there's like, if you're in the esoteric health space, you might think like artificial sweeteners are quite bad for you. like how, what do you call it, like aspartame is really bad and all that. There's one specifically, there's a really well researched like sweetener. Now I spoke to my like basically chef friend about this, and he said it's like one of the safest because it's the most researched as well. I don't know what it is. It's probably like the most popular one. It probably starts with an A or something. It might have been aspartame, but he even says that basically you are able to drink it and you probably won't see anything bad happen to you. So you could have zero, not zero, sorry, sugar-free sodas, because they'll obviously have 0 calories, but they're also bubbly and they taste quite good. So you're not missing too much on, I want to say, life, basically, okay? Because you should treat yourself sometimes, but you shouldn't be drinking like a can of Coke every day. You really shouldn't. But you could easily, you could easily have like a sugar-free soda every day if you wanted and not feel guilty, which is quite cool. I just wouldn't have it every day though, because an interesting effect that like most people don't really talk about with zero, with sodas that are like sugar-free, when you actually do drink it, your body still craves for sugar. Okay, because normally when your body takes in sugar, you want more of it. That's just, it's just the effect that sugar has on us. But with sugar free, although your body doesn't actually like take it and actually absorb it, you know, it just like you just basically poop it out or pee it out, I guess. You still have the reaction of wanting more sugar. Okay, so I would just be careful about that, because especially if you're very prone to like eating a lot of sweets, it will make you want to eat more sweets. Okay, so that's number two. Water. You can only drink water, milk, or zero soda. Or sorry, no, sugar-free soda. This is sounding very much like a caveman diet, but honestly, it would be pretty good for you. Okay. Number three, and this is like the final step. Very, very simply, sleep a minimum of 7 hours. Now, no one ever talks about sleep with a diet. I know it sounds really silly, but the truth is, you need sleep in order to regulate how hungry you feel and basically how well you even build muscle. Like genuinely, if you don't sleep, like if you want to build muscle, if you want to like be lean, you need to be sleeping well. Otherwise, literally throughout the day, you will be finding it harder to even gain muscle. Like why would you do that to yourself? It's like to have less sleep in your system is a bit like starting your day with like 10% battery, and it's like horrid. It's horrible to do that. You don't want to force, you don't, why would you put yourself in that position? So do make every effort you can to actually sleep like 7 hours. I don't want to sound like your dad, but the truth is you need to sleep 7 hours at least, especially if you're working, if you're doing fitness and all that, which this is probably the reason why you're watching me. You need to sleep at least 7 hours or 8 hours. Even 8 hours is probably better for you. Anyways, so sleep 7 hours, okay? Have like literally bonus episode like bedtime. Bedtime is, it sounds silly, but a bedtime is so good for you because your body can adjust to when it actually is time to go to bed, and then your body is just like telling you, oh yeah, I should be starting to feel very sleepy. You can even have a routine if you wanted to. Personally, I don't. I just make sure I'm in bed by like 11 or 12 because of work. Obviously, like you might not be able to get to bed on time. Just do the best that you can. Make sure you're at least in bed. Now, as well, in bed does not equal sleeping. That's very, there's an important distinction to be made here because people like to say, oh, I sleep like, you might even say this, oh, like, oh, I sleep like 8 hours a night. Whereas you might think you sleep 8 hours a night, but you're in bed for 8 hours a night, but it takes you like 1 hour to actually get to sleep because you were doom scrolling or something. Then you're asleep maybe 7 hours in. So realistically, you're really getting 7 hours of sleep. Not the same. So more realistically, if you want to get 8 hours of sleep, you're probably going to want to be in bed for 9 hours. Like that might work. Like if you get to sleep very quickly, maybe 8 hours 30 minutes before you actually are asleep. It's quite tricky. Okay, just work backwards. Basically, think about when you want to wake up for. So like, let's say you want to wake up at 7 in the morning every day. Then you work back. Like if you want to get 8 hours of sleep, you have to work back 9 hours before that. So most likely you'll have to be waking up at, no, so you have to be in bed at 10. Okay, I think that's right. Yeah, you have to be in bed at 10. So not a lot of people will do that, but generally, honestly, I'll give you a challenge. I'll bet something for you. Okay, if this doesn't work, if you don't see any like improvement, okay, just give me like a dislike on this video. Like try it for at least 2 months. Okay, if you can't stick with it for 2 months, there's not going to be a diet out there that's going to work for you, because this is the most simple diet you could even think of. All I gave you was 3 steps: a protein source with every meal, water or milk as your drink, or you can have like sugar-free soda, and to sleep 7 hours. It's very simple. Okay, I didn't even say anything about snacking. Okay, obviously you shouldn't snack, but if you do all of that, you will see improvement. You just will. Okay, so do all of that, and honestly, 2 months, at least 2 months, you will see improvement in your body composition. Okay, even take pictures of yourself. That can help a lot. Watch the weight. I wouldn't watch it every day though. I would watch it week by week, because your body can fluctuate a lot. Like if you ate something an hour before bed, your weight can go up by like a lot. It makes you feel really bad. Don't put yourself through all that. Honestly, diet is it's just a mental game. That's all it really is. Physically, it's not a hard thing to do, but it's a mental challenge. So that's why I'm giving you this very simple diet to follow. I hope this helps. I don't normally make videos on diet, but I feel like you might find this helpful, especially because a lot of people say that I basically have like I cheated my way to my body, which is basically their way of saying like I put in no effort, which is basically true. Like this is basically what I follow, and I've just always remained lean. So take of that what you will, but I would follow this, right? Do it for at least 2 months. If it doesn't work, leave a comment saying it didn't work, or if it did, let me know, because I think it will work. It will work. It's very simple. I will see you later. Bye bye.